Now let's get it started. Let's get it started.
Label!
Liverpool officially inquired about Isak.
Which is where their heart has been since.
The Isak, if they are going to make that transfer for Isak, it's going to be the British record transfer. That is 120 million pounds. That is the first asking price for Isak, 120 million pounds. But they have not made an official bid. But they went to ask if Isak is available. Now, if they tell them Isak is available, they will make a bid because they want Isak. If not, they will go for Ekitike. So it depends on that.
If they go for Ekitike, Newcastle will go for Ekitike.
Yeah, so Newcastle wants Ekitike. Liverpool eyes is there, but their major transfer is Isak. They say that they are just inquiring if Isak is available. They don't have a response now. So I think that Newcastle is trying to look at this deal. Almost 120 million pounds first. For asking price, they can push it maybe pay 130, no 150 big now. 130.
They don't pay 130 for Florian Wirtz now. Why they not go pay 150?
No, 120 is euros. 120 million pounds is going to be a British record. That means it's going to be about 140 million euros. So it's going to be a huge money if they are going to make that transfer. But if Liverpool gets Isak, shut down for everybody.
No, if Liverpool gets Isak, shut down. But I expect that bid to be rejected by Newcastle. Let's not forget that Newcastle are also in the Champions League. If you even refresh or go online, I'm sure you heard that they've rejected the bid because Newcastle are in the Champions League this year and they would not be shopping for Ekitike to support Isak when they are intending to sell Isak. So I think Newcastle will reject the bid and keep Isak for another year and sign somebody to add to Isak so that maybe next season he could go. I don't know, but there is no way they are going into Champions League this season and they are selling Isak this season. If it were last season, it was a better deal.
Make I tell you the truth. That 120 million pounds, one neck, think if you are a club owner, think that.
See, why I said,
just think small.
No, forget
you have to understand that.
I understand that it's business. I understand that it's business.
When I said the Isak and Isak going to Liverpool, this was the story we heard in the beginning of the transfer market. This was the story we heard last year, but they didn't really go for the bid. This is the story we're hearing this year. But I'm just telling you that maybe they saw that they couldn't profile the player in the mode of Isak. Look at the way Hugo plays. Look at the way Isak plays. They have similar style of play. And I've said this before, if you have a striker, this similar type of strikers too in a team, it didn't used to work. They really work like that. So you have this type of striker one, they have the other type of striker. You have the camping striker and the drifting striker. You understand what I mean? Now, these two type of strikers, they like to drift. Isak from the flanks, even when you have Anthony from that flank, you still see Anthony Gordon, you still see him try to drift from that area. You don't see him camp mostly. Then you have a Callum Wilson who camps. The senior man, nothing concerning.
I think Wilson is doing
now they come out. So you have somebody. If Isak is leaving, you need to bring somebody in the mode of Callum Wilson who can sit on the bench and camp whenever you need a change in dynamics, a change in play style. You bring him in to at least change the play style or say, okay, fine, this player is camping. You will have to distract defenders by camping, while the other players can just run around and get their goals. Now, Hugo Ekitike is one of those players that you can liken to Isak. Now, if they want to sign him in, it means Isak should be leaving because it means clubs have been inquiring about Isak. More clubs, not just Liverpool, maybe more other clubs have been inquiring about Isak. And for me to have people inquiring about this person, it means one person will have to submit a bid sooner or later. And now Liverpool is probably going to submit the first bid of 120 million pounds and get rejected.
It's going to be an interesting transfer till the end of the transfer. Isak, if he's going to move to Liverpool, I think it's a better upgrade for him. I'm no disrespect to Newcastle, but him moving to Liverpool has more chances to win the Premier League and win the Champions League.
How many times? How many tries before they won the Carabao Cup?
It's going to be very hard for him to win a trophy or win the Premier League or Champions League at Newcastle. So him moving, but it depends. And sometimes you have some of these particular deal once or twice in your lifetime. Example: if Isak plays well. If he doesn't play well this season, it becomes a problem. No club will come, or he gets injured. It becomes very hard for him to move next season. So you might think about all these things, and he can force his way. Look at what Gyökeres did with sorting this for him to force a move. But even though that I think Isak is not that kind of player, but anything can happen. 120 million, even Newcastle they think 120 million pounds is a huge money.
You reject him first.
You could buy Hugo. And still have about 50 million euros
to buy another Callum Wilson.
You know how much they ask for Hugo?
70.
They go,
Hugo is, I think Hugo is 100.
It's 100, but you know they will price.
No, and wait, calm down. Wait, no, see, wait, no. Let's on that. John, let me not correct that because it's not much the price for Hugo. This one is 120 million pounds. This one is 100 million euros, which is about 87 million pounds.
And they go price down.
Change go still day, and they go still price down. Change go still day. No matter how you want to take down, because if you say okay, let's convert the euros to pounds. 100 million euros is about 85 million pounds. So 85 million pounds, 120 million pounds. You still have at least plus or minus 35 million pounds to spend on another striker that looks like Callum Wilson if he's leaving. If he's not leaving, then you say okay, he will sit on the bench and be playing his normal 10 minutes. And remember, they have another striker that they converted to midfielder in Jolinto.
I still believe that Newcastle will not sell. But let's
yes,
they will not
for now.
For now,
the stance is that they are not ready to sell Isak. But you know that the transfer market is till August. So anything can
we are not
happen.
ready to say 130. You're not ready to say okay, fine.
If you add 10 million
125, 130, you go sell.
So
when you not add 10 million pounds, you go sell.
As I said, football is a business.
For a player bought for less than 50 million or so.
Football is a business. If they probably Liverpool offers maybe 130 million or 120 million, they might decide to sell. But let's see if that will happen. If Isak moves from Newcastle to Liverpool, Liverpool might be unstoppable next season. Even though the other clubs are actually buying,
everybody are making moves.
Yes, but it's going to give because look at last season Liverpool. What they lack is that striker. Even though their wingers got them goals, Diaz and Salah scored a goal of goal and they won the league, but they still need a number 9. You cannot actually win without a number 9. Sometimes it's very hard. So they need a number 9 that can actually imagine Salah is scoring.
Isak is
scoring, Diaz is scoring, everybody is scoring.
If they sub you so score.
Shut down. So I think Liverpool needs a striker. I remember what happened with Jota too. So only Nunes is in that club now as a recognized striker in that club. So whether Nunes is staying or leaving, they still need to buy a striker for that club. But let's see who they are going to go. If it's going to be Hugo or Isak from Newcastle. So let's see what Liverpool is going to do.